Just about time to meet leather. And we are underway in Southern California at about the 1. And he returns this to the 22. Here's the first carry for Austin Eckler, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. Second down.
Here we go. 18 Cardinal. Check me out. Hey, check Panther 11. Here we go, let's bring it. Let's go, let's bring it. Switch.
From the shotgun, here's Herbert. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
3 and out, a real danger here on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 12. A shotgun snap for Herbert. Finds the open man. It's Mike Williams. And he is going to have the Chargers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
But one of the ways the quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
I'm coming. Jim. Check out.
Out of the gun, Herbert. Eluding the pressure right. This one complete to Christian Kirk. And he will go out right near the 35-yard line. A big gain that time for the Chargers.
Well, things are looking pretty darn good on this first drive, aren't they? Came right out, set the tone, this time with a big pass play.
And if the peek behind the curtain that they gave us or their game plan, I don't think that's going to be the last one we see.
I think you're exactly right about that.
So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. To the air again, Herbert. That'll be caught by his tight end, Ian Thomas. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. And Charles, with that completion, I'm told that puts him over 3,000 yards passing now on the campaign.
And Brandon, nowadays your leader's usually closer to 5,000 yards on the year, but still, 3,000 yards, a good season.
60 Bison. 3 down.
Running on first down, Eckler. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
A quick
Working with 2nd and 5 now.
Check. Check Mike 40.
Here's Herbert. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
It's been a good opening drive offensively thus far, but you know they don't want to waste it and settle for a field goal attempt after that incompletion. So this is a big play coming up here on third down.
Here comes the 7th play of this opening drive. They've moved it well, but here's third down. Justin Herbert looking to pass. And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on third down, forcing the errant pass. Fourth down coming up. The Chargers will bring out the field goal unit now. From the right hash, just a 34-yard attempt. And Gay knocks this one through. And the Chargers grab themselves a 3-0 lead. So the opening drive does yield points. Maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they have 3 first downs and 3 points. And the Broncos going to come up 1st and 10 at their own 24. Now a whistle, and I think a penalty here for a delay. No, they're going to say timeout. They did get the timeout in time. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. They'll run for the first time with Phillip Lindsay. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. 8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. Room here to run. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45.
This is a little bit like baseball here. Strong up the middle. Both sides want to be that. In this case, the offense ended up winning the ultimate battle.
And those big runs between the tackles, that's a little deflating for a defense, isn't it?
It really is, because that's where your strength's supposed to be. You're supposed to be in a spot where they can't make that yardage there. You're supposed to send them outside. Not in this case.
Right back to him on first down. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for. One of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
On second down. Quick. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 13. They look to throw. It's Locke. He wants it all for the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Teron Johnson able to pick it. And the Chargers are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20.
Chargers take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. After the turnover, here's Herbert. Trying to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Kyle Fuller. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. They're trying to resurrect his confidence. Last week was a disaster. 5 interceptions in that loss, and another pick there.
I've played with a quarterback like this before, and he had a tough game, and the head coach said, I'll take him, I'll fix him. The very next game, he started out the exact same way. The head coach turned to the offense coordinator and said, he's yours from now on. Someone has to take responsibility and work with him and try and get him settled. But defensively, you're over there trying to catch your breath and try not to show the offense that you're a little bit fatigued. You're right back out there after the turnover. Now they've got to work towards getting another couple of stops and forcing them into at least a long field goal situation.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Check 4. Check safety.
Block now on 1st down. Flush to his right. And this one is incomplete.
I think that's how this defense is going to need to play these tight ends. Again, get right up on them and stay physical. And that paid off on that play, helping force that incompletion.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Mike, 44. Let's set a tone, fellas. Let's set a tone. Shoot. Check 99.
Throwing now is Locke. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Picked off by Micah Hyde. And the Chargers are going to take over at their own 41. And not the first quarter that he was hoping for. Now 2 interceptions thrown.
Well, the good ones, they find a way to compartmentalize, right? Put these behind them, have that short memory, but understand why they threw the 2 interceptions. They go on and usually play a pretty decent game. Other quarterbacks, they have a hard time getting past it and often put the ball up for grabs the rest of the ball game.
Let's go.
The Charger drive about to get going. Well, what do you think? You get the ball off the turnover near the middle of the field. You take a shot here on the first play?
You know I'm big on that. I love when I have great field position after a turnover like that. I might have a little bit off balance. I prefer to take a shot, but a lot of coaches will tell you you only do it if you trust the guy who's got the football in his hands. Meaning, if it's not there, he won't force it downfield and maybe turn into an interception. He'll go to the check down, go to a second option, and go ahead and take the play that's in front of him.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Trap 60. Single.
Here's Herbert. Thomas brings it in. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. A big game that time for the Chargers. Every defensive staff harps on limiting explosive plays. Job not so well done there.
Yeah, they talk about it all the time. A lot harder to stop, though, isn't it? And when you think of an explosive play, most offensive staffs define them as passes of 20 or more yards and runs of 15 or more yards.
They went zooming past that number there. Herbert setting up to throw on 1st down. Escaping the pressure right. That's going to be caught by Kirk. Touchdown, Chargers. Christian Kirk, his 11th touchdown of the year. For the Chargers, they're able to widen their lead. Matt Gay on for the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And this return will net positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. To this point, the results have not been good. 2 possessions, 2 turnovers.
And that's obviously something that can't continue, but to go a little bit deeper on that one, I would think about some play calls now, not even necessarily to my best player, but to someone I can trust with the ball. Try and get things settled down a little bit.
10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Quarterback, don't get nervous now.
A quick throw outside by Locke. And all the way home for a Broncos score. A big play there with touchdown number 20 on the year, and the Broncos able to show off their quick strike ability. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead is down to a field goal. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. The lane opens here. He's past the 30.
Come on, guys, let's go.
The Charger drive about to get going. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
He's obviously a bit of a shorter running back. And sometimes when he goes up the middle like that, he gets lost in there, and then he pops out for 10, 20 yards.
I actually asked NFL linebackers if that was true. Do you actually lose sight of some of the smaller running backs? And all of them confirmed that that can be a problem. Think of it this way. 2 of the top running backs in NFL history, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, both 5'10".
Mike 40, check, he's coming. Ready?
They'll run here with Eckler. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. These 2 teams matching up for the 2nd time this year. Their first meeting back in October, week 6. And it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home. Second and 10.
Watch tight end. Tight right. 4 down. Alert. Check 37. Seven Pirate. Wide. Get wide. Check. Hustle. Let's go.
Herbert now. Flushed out right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And it looked like he got the feet down, did he? Yes, it's a catch. A big gain that time for the Chargers.
A lot of running backs in the passing game, they're just used to check it down to them or maybe dump off passes. But this guy, they use him to stretch the field, don't they?
Stretched it right there, turned it into a really nice game. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Now the first carry for Brian Hill. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. In on the stop defensively, Raekwon McMillan. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Kill, turn up. 19 Lion.
Herbert will give this one to Eckler. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
And he will get in across the chalk for a Chargers touchdown. His 4th rushing touchdown on the campaign, number 7 overall. And the Chargers are going to add on to their lead. No, CD, there didn't seem to be much resistance there down near the goal line.
Yeah, Parker, from what I saw there, not a real good job of matching up defensively because to me, it looked like they were just in their base 3-4 package. You need bigger bodies in there in a goal line type situation. The 3-4 fine between the 20s, but not down here when you're guarding your end zone.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
Check nickel. Check 43.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Locke trying to lay one up deep. And that is incomplete.
Well, when you've got a tight end who can run, you've got to give him a shot to unlock the defense. Want to see what they can get, taking the big shot downfield. That one winds up incomplete.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Now Locke. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Blowing that play up, Roquan Smith as he gets the sack. A field goal would tie it, but they want more. They're going for it. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. The Broncos send out their punter now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. This will be fielded at the 17. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. The Charger drive about to get going. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run and vice versa. I would continue that, and when they finally draw a beat on you, maybe you mix it up a little bit, a little play action and throw the ball.
And will they maintain that balance? Time to find out. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
Yes,
and he's
I am.
miles away and smiling.
And happy.
And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Option play, and they'll give to Eckler. And he stopped immediately there. Bradley Chubb there on the tackle. This defense could use a few more plays like that right now.
It certainly could, but think about it from an offense's perspective right now. They've got a lead, but they don't want to throttle down too much and stall themselves. Still want to move at a nice pace.
Herbert. Eluding the pressure right. Looking sideline, incomplete.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them, and I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
Going to throw on third down with Herbert. Flush to his right. And this pass broken up. Now the contact well timed there, and now fourth down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And with him down 2 scores, you wonder if they might try and put something together, even if it's just to get into field goal range. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. A 1st and 10 here. You know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a 1-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Play action. Now it's Locke. He's going to air one out. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Certainly no lack of aggressiveness here. They were hoping for the home run play to get them 6 points. They're hoping for a catch, maybe a call, but they figure they can at least get into field goal range with a completion.
58 to Mike. 58 to Mike. Watch the out. Watch the out. Check three. Check three. Check three.
Again, it's Locke. And Locke throws another one. It's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Well, Charles, you know, so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
On 1st and 10, Herbert. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Back to throw here, Herbert. Escaping the pressure right. He finds his man, complete. It's Marsh. And they do finally get him, but he takes it to the 25. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. Made his first, this now from 42 yards out. Gay's kick is good, and that will do it for this first half. So we've reached the intermission in what right now is a 13-point game. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. It'll be the Broncos getting the football first in this second half as they trail, and we are back underway. This fielded right at the goal line. And not a good return at all. Down inside the 10, all the way back at the 7. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And they're down on the scoreboard, sort of a sloppy first half. And Coach Davis, if you were in the locker room, what would the message have been?
I think I'd have to go with something you don't ordinarily go with in the NFL. That's a little fire and brimstone. You've got to fire these guys up. Make them understand what's going on out there. They were so sloppy in the first half, too many turnovers. Tighten things up. Maybe get in their face a little bit, get in their grill, and then send them back out.
2nd and 6 at the 11-yard line.
Second and 6.
Mike spoke both. That's right, baby. They don't want it. 44's to Mike. 44's to Mike. Watch the run. Watch the run. Switch. Showing it.
Here's Locke to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Derwin James with a pick. And his guys will take over. 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
You better bring 6 guys. Check 6 guys.
The handoff, it's Eckler. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Sometimes with the running game, you just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Pat Surtain. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
And that'll be incomplete. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
Block now to throw. He's going to look deep down the field. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for them. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
They'll break the huddle here and go for it. This is 4th down.
You. Rush in. Rush in. He's checking. Crash. Bang. 44. Mike, 44. You're trash.
They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And now possession's going to go over with a football at the 20-yard line.
Let's go. 19 Tiger. Let's get this ball back for the offense. Let's go. Watch the twist.
Now a toss running left, Eckler. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
When people talk about plays being blown up, that's exactly what they're talking about. That's Exhibit A for physical play.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13.
56. Mike, 56. Right there. 56. Let's go, Heavy. Let me what you got, Heavy.
Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. And this is caught. He's got it. Touchdown, LA. Christian Kirk, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Chargers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. So remember now, this was all set up by the stop defensively on 4th down. That's what got them this great field position. And then 2 plays later, they're already in the end zone.
Yeah, partner, funny how it works like that, huh? That's a momentum swing amusement park style. Your defense comes off the field, bouncing, grooving, they're fired up, and it carries over to the other side of the ball.
They're going to try and run. And he is not going to get in there. He stops short of the goal line, and the lead is going to stay right where it is. Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave him great field position, turned it to 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
And he's got it. What a catch on the sideline.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
And he'll get 7 yards from the 17 to the 10 before he's taken down. Throwing on 2nd and 3. Lock. And oh, it'll be intercepted. Snags it for the pick. And the Chargers are going to take possession here at their own 6-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran a wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Eckler going to get it again on 2nd down. And he'll lose yardage and be down at the 7-yard line. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming. Now the Broncos are going to take a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn 1 here in this 3rd quarter. And looks like they've got 6 DBs on the field here for a 3rd and 9. Now it's Herbert. This is caught. It's Kirk. He's at the 40, 20, 10, and all the way in for a Charger touchdown. Christian Kirk with his 3rd touchdown so far, number 13 now on the year. And the Chargers find a way to stretch their lead. Extra point by Gay is up and good, and that will bump the lead up to 26. After the touchdown, it's Gay to kick this one away. Taken in at the 3. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Cost them.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about...
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Nasir Adderley. And he'll take this all the way down inside the 40. Well, to be frank, CD, this is getting tough to watch. I mean, you feel for him, but 6 interceptions, that's at a whole new level. It's not a good level.
It makes it tougher and tougher to come up with ways to try and support him. But you have to as a team because you can't just throw your quarterback aside. You're going to need him later on. But it reminded me of a time that a former defense coordinator of mine told me he was in a game where his quarterback threw 7 interceptions. So after the 6th one of the defensive players went to the quarterback and said, here's what you do. Throw the ball to the other team, and let's see if our receivers can pick it off and turn it into a completion.
That's just mean. I don't know that I'd go down there and say that to him right now. Probably pretty fragile.
60 Eagles, 60 Eagles. We got 3, fellas, we got 3. Go.
Eckler going to get it again on 2nd down. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Well, they need to get to the 29 if they want to pick up a first here on 3rd down.
Don't let him breathe. Play that tight deep. Don't let him breathe. Deep. 18 Cardinal, 18 Cardinal.
Now with just 1 second showing on the play clock, we're going to get a timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
On 3rd down, here's Hill. 1 quarter remains here as the regular season starts to wind down. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. And that will push the lead up from 26, and it grows up to 29. After the made field goal, Gay back out there to kick it off. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the 4th quarter. This will be their 3rd straight defeat. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And that's caught inside the 35. It's a big play there for the Broncos.
At this stage, there's nothing left to do but to keep firing. And if you're a play caller, you may go off your sheet and use some things maybe you hadn't planned to in this game. Maybe that was one of them there that worked.
Switch it, come on, switch it. Hey, check 24, watch 24.
On 1st down, Locke. He's going to try and go deep again. And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. A great play there with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Broncos get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit. Extra point right down the middle. And that'll cut the lead down now to 22.
36, Broncos 14.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Taken in at the 3. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The Charger drive about to get going. And it's starting to look like that 3-game losing streak is going to be a thing of the past here. Coming up 1st and 10 in the 4th quarter. They started on the ground with Eckler. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. They stay on the ground. This time it's Hill. And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
The Chargers on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 7.
56 is Mike. 56 is the Mike. Hey, keep it up. Keep it up.
This is a counter play. Eckler. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, 3rd down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one.
Mike 56, Mike 56. In your face.
First down, and they stick with Eckler. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. From the gun, a run for Hill. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The Chargers on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. He'll try the jet sweep with Kirk. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. 4th down now after a loss of 2. And they try to catch him by surprise there on 3rd down, but this defense, they were all over the jet sweep.
And it's oftentimes all about what you're doing on the backside of the defense, whether it's the defensive end or the outside backer, who's setting the edge. And if they don't get blown off the line of scrimmage, they can really wreck a play. And in this case, they were able to make the tackle for a loss as a result.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Charger football as we welcome you back from the 2-minute warning. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. He'll return it from the 6. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And it'll be 1st and 10 Broncos from deep in their own territory. The Broncos onto the field ready to start their next drive. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now, and if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one.
58 to Mike, 58. 58 to Mike. Cover it. 58, right over there, right over there. Yeah. Mike, 58.
To throw again on 2nd down. Lock. And now here is another interception. picked off by Asante Samuel Jr. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line. The number 7 usually lucky here. Not for him. 7 picks he's thrown in this game. That's only happened 6 times since 1960.
And I know that the most recent time it happened, the guy who threw him, he'd won a Heisman Trophy in college, so sometimes you just have a lousy game. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad career, but when you're talking about one game, 7, you're right, not lucky at all.
Yeah, Ty Detmer, the last to do it in 2001, to throw 7 picks. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. On the option, here's Eckler. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll wind up as a loss on the play, so now they're staring at a 3rd down and 12.
Big stop, D. Big stop, let's go.
So this one's over. It's in the win column for the LA Chargers. And this coaching staff, CD, I think you'd agree, pleased with this overall effort.
Oh, I think they're more than pleased, right? They've got to look at each other like, wow, we just pulled this one off in a big way. Great job of motivating. Even better job of game planning. They were facing a top 10 defense, so they had to make sure that everything was buttoned down, and they had it ready to go, and their guys executed.
Yeah, they were concerned not only about moving the ball through the air, but also on the ground, but both really started to come in sync. So for the Chargers, they finish off the regular season at 12 up and 5 down. And now they'll await the final seeding for the playoffs ahead. Meanwhile, for the Broncos, the loss means they'll finish up the regular season at 10 and 7. And it's going to be finger-crossing time as we await the final shakedown of this year's playoff picture. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.